And here are my last 3 pages for the 7-day challenge from Southern Gals Designs here on YouTube. Although the challenge was over on Instagram, but it was 7 days of creating 5-minute pages. So this is day 5. I started with collaging, and I had pulled out different things. I even have some streamer there, like a streamer like for a birthday party. I have some wrapping paper and some jelly plated prints and just all that fun kind of stuff. And then I had this in my stash for quite a while now, and all it is an old page with like stenciled in black the arrow, and I didn't want the straight edges, plus it was a little bit too big, so I did some tearing off of the edges. And now I'm using one of my favorite stencils, which you can tell because it's just covered in everything. But I took some modeling paste there with some Dina Wakley cheddar paint, and I mixed that together, and now I'm using this stencil from Housewares on Etsy, and the link will be below. And now I'm adding just a little bit of Dina Wakley washi tape. I had just gotten this. I never had her washi tape before, so I was excited to get it and to use it, and I used it a lot actually this week on the different pages. And now, in honor of our hostess on this challenge, I'm using a little bit of masking tape on every page because she likes to use masking tape, and her name is Tiffany. And now I'm just taking a little bit extra of that paste with the paint and putting it strategically around the page. And you can see the timer there. I don't have a lot of time. I am now adding the silver alphas, which I have added to every page except for the first one. And by the end of this, they are all used up, so I'm happy about that. And that's it. I'm basically done at this point. I'll hold that up and you can see it. And that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that page very much. Would I have liked to have done more? Absolutely. Oh, and here's Maui, my bird. He was with me, so I'm like, oh, let me put him in the video. Okay, so now this is page 6 of 7. I'm using Jane Davenport Brights watercolor. The timer is sideways. I couldn't, because I have the pad horizontal now, I couldn't fit the timer in it the right way, so the timer is sideways. The page is straight. And all I'm doing is taking a brown Posca paint pen, and I am roughly drawing some flowers. They could be roses, they could be whatever you want. And it's just a really, really easy way to, get the flowers onto the page. The whole trick is, as you go around and make the squiggly lines, it just has to touch somewhere. As long as it touches, every so often, it just works. It just works. It's easy peasy, and I enjoy doing it. So now I have my 4 flowers drawn onto the page, and I actually had to lift it up to give it a bit of a dry because I had my garbage can on top of my cord for my heat tool, and it wouldn't reach, and the time was ticking. The stopwatch does not, or it's not a stopwatch. The timer does not stop. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I have to lift up the whole entire journal. And I'm just going back and forth. What I should have done 2 things here that I did not. I should have sprayed the watercolors in the tin before I started this to get them wet, and I didn't do that. And then the second thing I should have done was wet with just water the flowers before putting the watercolors on, and I didn't do that either. I was in such a rush. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I have to get the paint on there. And yeah, so, but I mean, I love the way that they look. In fact, the bigger flower on the left, it was still quite puddly. There's a word for you, puddly, when I lift it up, and you'll be able to see the paint kind of move around a little bit. And I put some pink hearts and the masking tape and the silver alphas, and here we go. And I'm just going to move that a little bit, and you're going to see the water and the paint move. So this has a lot of white space, a lot. I don't ever do pages like that. And then this is day 7, so 7 of 7. And you know, I love working with circles, and I have that big circle chipboard, and I also love working with chalk pastel, and these are actually from Stampin' Up. They are Stampin' Up, and I love them. They're my favorites to blend out. And what I'm using to blend with is a paper towel. Some people use tissues, but the paper towel, because it is almost like ribbed, right? It has a texture to it. It seems to pick it up a little bit better, the chalk, and move it around a little bit better. So, you know, that's what I prefer to use. And this is the last color. So I just got the orange on there, and I was super happy with that. Now, what I'm going to do is take some Daler Rowney ink in black with a paintbrush. And at first I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I didn't mess it up, because I didn't go perfect. The circles aren't perfect. But by the end, after I get like a second coat on these, you'll see that it really looks great. It turned out really well. I think when I started, I felt so rushed that I was like, oh my gosh, I got to just do it. And then I like calmed down. and it really worked much, much better. And I do like the way that looks. And I had to, I had some time left, so I pulled out the Tim Holtz little chipboard sayings using my Tombow adhesive to get those down. And here comes the washi tape, and then I had just enough time to get a little bit of the alpha on there, and yep, and here we go. And that is the end of this challenge. And thank you, Tiffany, so much. I'll have Tiffany's link below as well. And here's some photos of the 3 pages for you. If you enjoyed this, I'd love to have you subscribe. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that like button. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.